The day I bought the mansion was an achievement I'd been building up to for a while. I had on my desktop for a while that I need a mansion, so every day I saw it and I just couldn't escape it. I had to get one. I remember putting an offer in to buy it 2 years before I bought it, and it got turned down. 2 years later, I put an offer in 400 grand less than my previous offer, and it got accepted. So you could say it was a good deal. One thing I specifically remember about that deal is the lady selling the house said it was sold as seen. Great, it had chandeliers in the house, do you know what I mean? It was a big, massive house. Had a nice few outbuildings. And just before I moved in, I got a phone call saying, Stephen, I want an extra 18 grand. I was like, but it was sold as seen. Yeah, but the chandeliers, the outbuildings. I was like, no, I'm not, you know, I'm sorry, but we agreed the price and that's it. So I turn up on the first day, this big massive house, you know, 200-metre driveway, and I was driving up and I saw to the right as I was driving up the driveway an absolute mess where they've had a big fire. I thought, that's a bit minging, do you know what I mean? You don't want to see that when you've worked all your life to get a mansion and then you're seeing that. What else have they done? Go into the house, first thing I see was this beautiful chandelier smashed to pieces on the floor. I go into the other rooms and it's the same, chandeliers all over the place, smashed. She'd gone and cut all the chandeliers in the house because I didn't pay her the extra money. Walk outside and there was a beautiful outbuilding that was an office for the previous guy that lived there. He used to work there when he wanted time on his own, overlooking the lake, you know, really nice. Burnt that down as well. So just thinking about the mansion, I went from a 4-bedroomed house to a mansion, and at the time I looked at it like this. Is quite naive, to be honest. I just thought, oh, it's just a big house, could be an investment. Obviously I got it at a good price. I've always wanted a big house. I don't know why I wanted a big house, but I just did. I'll never get one again. Yeah, the first thing that hit me was the oil bill. I remember it had 2 big oil drums outside and I filled them both up. It cost about 2 grand. Within 5 weeks, I think it was, both were empty. I just couldn't believe it. I sat there. In fact, I remember it specifically well because my family came up to see the house, my extended family, on that day, and they couldn't find me because I'd ran to the other end of the house because there was 4 staircases in this house. I went to the furthest one and I just sat on the stairs with my head in my hands wondering, how on earth am I going to deal with this? How am I going to deal with this? I didn't factor in these costs. You know, 2 grand in 5 weeks. I mean, admittedly we had the heat on like a lot because the walls were damp, you know, we needed to heat the whole thing. But I had to find a solution to this problem, and I'm going to go back to selling the Lamborghini now. That was the solution. Sell the Lamborghini, get a biomass boiler, which was absolutely massive. I had to have it built in its separate shed. And it cost, like I said, a lot more than the Lamborghini to build, but there was a deal to be had with the government, and it worked out. Instead of using oil, obviously, to power the house, I was using biomass wood chips. So, and the wood chips, they would cost a similar amount to the cost of oil, but at the end of the year, Ofgem would give you the money back pretty much. That's how it worked out. So if you were spending 10 grand a year in oil, and all of a sudden you were spending 10 grand a year on wood chips, they'd give you the 10 grand back. However, you had to buy the boiler. And the only way to make a profit on this thing is by living in the house for at least 8 years. And unfortunately, I stopped living in the house within about 2 years, and it's probably the worst thing I've ever done, but it was unexpected. I thought I was going to be living there forever, but I'd never do something like that again. That turned into be a massive low, even though it's not business related. It sort of all intertwined with what was going on in my life at the time.